I'm gonna take this off and try to do something a little bit more 2019. My more modern makeup, I don't know who that is, but this is my more recent thing I got. It's magnetic, and it's a bunch of matte makeup, so hopefully this is pigmented enough to have a positive effect on my face, and we're gonna give this a shot. We're doing round 2 now. I have my more modern cosmetic bag, which is my cosplay makeup bag. And in here, I have things that are not from 2003. But more recently, as in 2000, like maybe 15. Still maybe a little older than they should be. I'm gonna put on some chapstick because they that wipe that I used to clean off my eyeshadow and makeup, it had alcohol in it, so it dried me out. First, I have what I use predominantly for my noise cosplay, which is Clinique. It's not perfectly my skin tone. I don't spend enough time in those places to get my skin tone, and I did go a couple times, but they just don't know. I mean, look at that, it's not my skin tone. Yeah. But whatever, so we're just gonna put some of that up on there. We need to fix this clip. In case you can't see that, I'm not a professional, but this is how I do mine. I'm gonna try to avoid my forehead again. I'm using the same thing that I used for that last makeup, but hopefully it's gonna be less noticeable.
Let me know if you need the black back.
Oh, I think I'll be good. We've got like 4 different containers of black eyeshadow over here. It just sort of blends out the pink that is my foreface. My face.
As opposed to your anterior face? I mean your posterior face?
Yes.
You've got a secret face hidden elsewhere?
It's like my background face. I definitely got some in my mustache, which is gonna be weird, but that's okay. I got most of the things that I learned from YouTube tutorials, which have been really helpful for the way that I do my cosplay makeup. I don't think I have enough on my chin to cover that pustuous zit, so we're gonna get a little bit on there.
Pustuous is a good word you totally just made up.
Was it really? Did I make that up?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Oh. I was hoping it was real.
Pus-owning. Pustacular.
Pustuous. Pustulier. That sounds worse.
How pustulier.
Don't talk about my pustulier like that.
Try and stop me.
So another thing that you want to do when you're using face makeup, especially if you don't have access to your correct skin tone, is blend it down your neck. As you can see, my neck is very pink.
And it stands out even more now because it's half pink.
Yeah. So we're going to try to do something about that.
It's irritated, so now your neck's going to be passive-aggressive.
I have had enough passive-aggressive in my life, please. Thank you. Definitely still going to have a pink neck, but at this point I don't really care. My face matches my ears well enough, so I don't really care about that either. I know there are people who blend it into their ears as well. I have had to do that for gray face makeup when I was cosplaying trolls, Homestuck trolls. And it is a pain in the butt.
How far into your ear would you go?
As far as I could go. Every little bit was covered.
Wow.
I was obsessive. So now that we have this on there, now we're going to put on some of this powder again, because you want to set it with a powder after you use a liquid kind of foundation or whatever that was.
Stuff.
Yeah, liquid stuff. I'm not very picky about using this because I can't actually even tell it where it's going. So I think as long as there's some dust on top of the liquid, that's what matters.
As long as there's some dust on your face.
Yeah, we need some dust on my face. I'm not dusty enough.
When you're all done, you'll need a Swiffer to get it off.
Yes, well, I am the Swiffer master, so
Swift man.
that'll be good. I do like dusting, what can I say? I don't know if you can even really tell in the camera. I think I'm probably more white than I was before, if that is even possible.
I can tell you are.
Okay, I'm just less pink. That's really the thing here. Yeah, you can even see on my neck where it goes back and it's more pink back there. I see a vein popping out over there. I used to actually just go out into public with this on, just because I hate how pink I get. The year before last, I don't know, where all of my friends were going out to clubs and stuff, and I was like, I guess I'll go out to a club with you guys. And everybody was drinking and partying, and that's not my scene, so...
Which would make you extra red.
Yeah, I don't need alcohol. I'm not big into partying and going out into public anyway, so... At this point, we have covered all of that I had on my face, and there's another thing you can do here at this point, and I will maybe do a little contouring, although you can't really tell because of the facial hair. I'm gonna use this brush. I don't know what it was last used for. I probably should have cleaned it. I didn't.
Wow.
So here I'm using Sonia Kashuk. I don't know how you pronounce that, what language that would be in, I don't know. And it's just a bunch of neutral face colors.
God, you said that like a real human being. Neutral face colors.
I see people do it like this, right? They
Yeah.
suck in their cheek. I don't really have to because it literally just follows my hairline. Is that what you call your facial hairline? A hairline?
I would, yeah.
I mean, it still is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't need to do my chin because that is plenty covered up. And then I'm going to take a lighter. I used this one, and now I'm going to take this one and try to... Now I'm just like, my cheek is orange, you know? But I don't know what I'm doing, so that's okay. I'm actually going to use this to define spots on my face that would otherwise be less defined, like underneath my nose, as well as my eyebrow here. I'm not good at blending, but I don't have a very well defined face in any way. My bone structure is pretty subtle. It's almost just like a blank slate. No.
It's a slab.
I have a face that I feel can blend in really easily to anything, which I think is why I can use makeup to pull off a lot of different cosplays, because I don't have a very unique face. And so, using makeup to define this shape is handy for me. And I'm totally messing it up real bad right now, but that's okay. Just do this whole area. Maybe if I cover it up, it'll be like it never happened.
If only real life worked that way.
Oh, that's just for my glasses. I'm trying to cover up the dent in my face for my glasses. Well, I guess I can't cover that up, so that's just going to stay there. And I'm going to continue to sort of give a shadowy effect to the side of my head here, covering up that lovely vein that everyone can see sticking out.
Fun vein!
Giving me a little more of a thin face look, bone look, defined cheekbones and whatever. I don't have that naturally.
That's a lot of words.
I don't even know what I'm saying, honestly. I don't know if you could see any of this. I think I have done a decent job trying to pretend that I have a face shape.
Pretend that you have a face. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like maybe I am a human after all. No, I don't.
Relatable.
And, yeah, so that sums it up. Maybe if I turn this down, it is kind of like ridiculously bright. Hey, that's better. I look a little more human. That's much better, I think. Yeah, okay. Now I'm going to take this Master Graphic Studio or something. That is an eyeliner marker. I hear that there is a way to do this, and I'm going to try to do it. Keep the line lower and just draw toward your lower lash line.
Oh, you're using actual eyeliner?
Yeah. Now this, I didn't do a very good job. This eyeliner technique for how you do your lower line, or I mean your eyeliner, your wing, if you do a wing, is very dependent on what eye shape you have. For instance, the shape F. I messed up.
F.
Okay, now I'm going to try to make this symmetrical, which is, we all know, a disaster. I'm going based off of techniques that I watched in videos. For almond-shaped eyes, it is an almond-shaped eye that I have. I definitely think that this technique works, and the most important thing to know if you have an almond-shaped eye is to not lift your eyebrow, because you want to get that relaxed look, and as soon as you lift your eye, it changes the shape of your entire eyelid and eyebrow, and it moves the skin, and you wind up with this weird curl in your eyeliner. I do think that's symmetrical. Now that I have the lower line made, I'm going to bring it in to about 1/4 of my eye. Just draw this line straight, like that. Now, as you can see, when I lift my lid, it changes shape, but that's fine, because I will fix that in a minute. But I do want to color this in now and make this a little more pointy, because I did mess it up. Yeah, that'll make it easier to just draw a line.
Keep making it longer.
No, I'm stretching my skin. I'm not making it longer. This is an interesting bit here. I'm gonna turn it into a spike. I gave myself a reverse wing within my wing. That's also part of this technique for almond-shaped eyes. What I did was I took this and I turned it into sort of an arrow to mimic the other side. It's pretty similar in shape, it's not perfect. And something that I like to do in order to give this more of an animated look, I like to give myself an inner corner. I know it's a little anime-esque, it's a little cat-like, but I do like the look a lot. It brings more of like a demonic kind of aesthetic, which I always think is a grade A thing to add to makeup.
Whether goth or not.
I don't even care, like, I think it's great. Oh, and as you can probably tell, I didn't actually put any eyeliner on the ridge of my eye or above, because that eyeshadow that I had tried to remove earlier was still sitting there. It's covering it perfectly, so we don't need to do any eyeliner there. Now I'm going to use this neutral and a brush. And I don't know if this brush is the right one to use for this, what I'm doing, but I don't, it doesn't matter. I'll try to make it work. So, I'm not going to go any lower than that sharp edge there. I'm going to bring it up toward the top and kind of flare it out a little following the shape of that wing. Yes. And bring it in. And you can see it's kind of getting some wrinkles from my skin here, but that's not a big deal. We can blend that later. I'm going to put more layers of makeup on this anyway, so not a big deal. Do the same thing to the other side, because if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget what I did. As you can see, I'm trying to fill in that little arrow edge. It's going to be pretty hard to see unless you're really looking for it, especially if I have my eye relaxed, which I do all the time.
As opposed to people who have tense eyes 24/7.
Yummy.
True.
Actually, this kind of makeup looks like how I draw Yami's eyes, so I don't know how to feel about that all of a sudden. I may not ever do it again. I'm just kidding.
It's not a secret that Yami is goth, so...
Oh my god, I know. You know what? But is he, though? Because he's making a bad example out of goth, so he maybe isn't goth.
Does Yami know of the initial 80s wave of post-punk that is labeled as goth currently?
That's a low blow there.
Does Yami know about the Smiths?
The Smiths. Joy Division, actually, is the one that I hear referenced all the time. I had not heard of Joy Division. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend that I heard of something I didn't hear about and never made an impact in my life. I don't need to go research it either. I'm not gonna lie, I did actually look it up. And they're not bad.
Why did you just say that?
They're not bad, because people shouldn't have to feel like they have to go research it in order to feel like, oh, I'm goth.
It's just funny that you phrase that by saying, you didn't do it, but actually you did.
I actually did look it up. The funny thing is, and nobody, I think I'm going to mention this, nobody ever talks about Gary Newman, but I have a feeling he's post-punk. I Googled it. He is post-punk. But my dad used to listen to Gary Newman all the time. Don't laugh at me.
No, stop me.
My dad used to listen to Gary Newman all the time. And so I was brought up with this music, and it always was nice to listen to. And I was giving him mixed CDs of Gary Newman once he lost his old CDs and stuff like that. And, well, I was listening to this Joy Division, and I was like, that sounds an awful lot like Gary Newman. That's where this all came together. Because I didn't know who Joy Division was, but all these goth people on YouTube were always talking about, you gotta listen to The Cure, and you gotta listen to Joy Division, and you have to know all these people, and it's like, no you don't. Listen here, pal. There's nothing that makes somebody more goth than somebody else, and there's no difference between whether or not you're an actual goth, because if you identify as such for whatever your reasons are, then you are, and that's really all it comes down to. It's an identity, and nobody can define your identity but yourself.
Well stated.
Oh, thanks. So I have the darkest spots colored on my eyes, and now I get to pick a color. Hee-hoo, which one am I gonna do? They all have really funny names. The one I'm gonna do because I really like red is NSFW. I hope it's pigmented. I hope it's not too pigmented. I feel like I'm gonna ruin everything right now.
I automatically gave myself a wing.
Hey, sweet. Now, can you make it the same on the other side?
Well, considering I did that by accidentally pressing that directly against where it should be, yeah.
Oh, sweet. Perfect. Okay, so this is a little lighter than I thought it was gonna be, but having to put a few extra layers on top will fix that. I'm trying to bring it almost to my eyebrow line, but I don't actually want it on my eyebrow line because I want to see if I can highlight that later.
Your eyebrows, you mean? Or
just underneath. There's a small space. The brow bone. I am liking this look. It looks like I know what I'm doing. I don't. You saw what I did. I'm just taking this and filling in up to the tear duct basically at a little angle here, and it automatically blended because this isn't particularly pigmented eyeshadow. So now I'm just going over a little bit more to bring out the red and fill in some spaces that I think aren't colored enough.
Ooh, that looks cool.
Definitely is doing the smoky thing that I wanted it to. Now, if I wanted this black to be more black or darker, I could easily just go over that again with black.
Yeah, I have some over here.
And fade it in. However, I don't think I want to do that because I think this looks alright. This side doesn't seem to be as well blended by my eyebrow. It's definitely just too far over, that's why, but that's okay. I did read about how to fix this. Take a color close to your skin color, maybe this one actually, and just go over a spot that you didn't get as well as you wanted. So I'm gonna lighten this area to try to blend it back to what it was. It's not really working. Yeah, it's kind of working. I can't tell if it's working or not, honestly. Well, you know, whatever. I can't tell. So I'm gonna take this lightest color here instead of any shimmer and just sort of paint it on my eyebrow bone here. And it's obnoxious right now, but I will blend it with my finger. So it just is a highlight instead. And get rid of that on top of my darker color. I didn't need that there. And then here. And get rid of it on top of the darker color again.
It is so difficult to put eyeliner on.
Yes, yes it is.
Awful.
So that just brought an extra dimension into my eyebrow. I can, if I want, put it up here too. But who's gonna even really notice that because my face is almost this color. And it just gives me a bit more of like an arch nemesis. Maybe I'm putting this lower than it's supposed to be. I can't tell. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I don't know what I'm doing. And then I'll do a little bit on my nose, because I don't think I have a very defined nose, so I'm just going to make it almost like it's more prominent by having a highlight there. So I'm going to try to do this color here, this whisper, and fade it to like a red inside my lip. I'm going to take this whisper here. It has the slightest pink, if you can't tell. And I'm gonna try to neutralize my lips with it.
Tranquilize them.
Hopefully it's not too weird looking. So that didn't work at all. I'm just gonna put that out there. This is turning into it looked cool and now it's a disaster.
I just looked up at you.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me.
And I can save this.
You look like you ate too many powdered sugar donuts.
That's not an unrealistic thing to assume of me.
That's true.
We're gonna now take this tannish color, it's kind of like a light, and try to save my life here, because I'm looking rough. There's too much liquid on my lips, it's chunky. This happens when you bite your lips though, I will tell you, from my experience as a Homestuck character with dark gray lips over my gray complexion, the lips always turn into this kind of weird, gross mess if you bite your lips. It's never smooth. That's just what happens when you have lips that you bite. And you can see my skin is kind of just cracking. Wow. As that's because I bite my lips so much. It's just part of the job. Part of the job of biting your lips. So now that I sort of somehow salvaged that and it's more of like a grayish poop color, it doesn't look too bad, actually.
It looks better than the in-between phase, I'll just say that much.
Thank you. I'm going to try to put this red in the middle now, which may be another disaster, but we'll give it a shot. It'll maybe bring a little life into my otherwise dead-looking lips. Actually, it's kind of a cool look because of the cracks in my lips.
That face made it so much worse.
Oh.
Hey guys.
Yeah. I've never done it like this. I don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, as you can see, it looks literally like my lips have dried out over a course of 10 years and have bled and cracked. Yeah, oh, this is super easy for me to do. I just start at the bottom and draw a line inward, and oh.
Like that? It's a super easy.
Super easy messes it up. Yep. And then I'll just follow my actual eyebrow shape across and narrow down the arch here, and then up. Just fill it in a little. Don't want it too thick. A little shape there. I already have a pretty noticeable eyebrow shape here. It's not like super structured. I don't have a ton of eyebrow hairs like some people do, but Joey.
Hey.
I'm jealous of Joey's caterpillars, but
You can borrow them. I'll charge interest.
oh gosh.
In eyebrow hairs.
Well, I'll just give you your hairs back over time. I definitely just ruined this eyebrow, just 100%.
Yeah, you did.
When you think you know what you're doing and you ruin it.
Because you said you knew what you were doing and it was easy.
Here is my finished... Ow, I pulled a hair out. Finished look. Oh, it looks so much healthier than it did a few weeks ago, my hair.
Why?
Because I've just recently learned how to take care of it. Okay, anyway, so here is my look. I have some contour that's probably the wrong color. I have my dead-looking lips, my eye makeup. All in all, you can see that I definitely have learned a thing or two about trying to fix my makeup and ruining it on the camera just now. A thing or two about trying to work with your face, your own face, and not just do some basic thing, but at the same time, I think we also noticed that doing something basic looks really good too. And whether or not this much work is something that you even care about, or putting makeup on is something you want to do or not, it doesn't actually matter, because you know yourself, your own representation of yourself, whether you do it overtly, publicly, or you're just aware of yourself inside your own mind. That's what really matters. And I just want to drive that across, and I know it's the end of this video, and maybe I'll do it more in a separate video to make it clearer than just a final kind of weird conclusion to my random makeup video. But I just started thinking about this when watching all these goth videos, the goth community, and there are just so many big name people out there who they will be saying, oh, well, you're goth no matter what, and just remember, don't let people pick on you for what you like. And then in the same video, they'll also be saying, but you actually have to know the background of goth and where the music comes from and the subculture and blah, blah, blah. And so these people seem to be saying, you don't need guidelines, but follow these guidelines, and I don't like that, because I've identified my own self as goth as far back as maybe 2007, 2006. That's when I was like 14 or 15, and in my area that there weren't guidelines to follow. We knew who we were, and that's just something we identified with. And whether or not you fit into like a musical clique or not, if you like the fashion, if you like a certain music style, if you like drawing or painting, or you like comics, or you like art, or you like writing, it doesn't matter if you have certain things in common with a particular group of people. They're all valid reasons to be who you are, and you don't need to feel like you have to follow certain guidelines in order to fit into a group, a community like goth, for instance. And I think that it's really unusual as a group that gets a lot of discrimination just because they wear all black. And generally that has bad connotations in media. They still seem to be gatekeeping and trying to protect themselves from outsiders who are part of who they are. And if you're goth, if you're not goth, if you don't care whether or not you're called goth, and it doesn't matter to you, or whatever the case,
Power to you.
more power to you. Literally, it doesn't actually matter because you know who you are, and that's what's the most important thing. It's not some YouTuber trying to tell you whether or not you are who you are. If you know who you are obviously are who you are. That's such a weird thing to say, but I feel like too many people, especially influencers on YouTube, who want to try to say, oh, you're this if you're that, and you're only that if you're this, it's completely... it's changing the entire dynamic of trying to get their point across that you should love who you are and be who you are. And so I'm putting that out here, and I know it's kind of ridiculous thing trying to close this video, which was a mess, with this little pep talk, but I think it's really important, as I just found it ridiculous watching these videos because I myself identify as goth, and I'm listening to other goths like tell me whether or not I am goth. Like, I'm 26 years old, I know who I am.
How to goth.
How to goth. You're only goth if you're this and that, and it's just absolutely asinine, arbitrary, unnecessary, and ridiculous coming from a group who should be looking to stand together as a community and support each other. And that happens in every community, literally. There are bad eggs, there are good eggs, there are neutral eggs, there are non-eggs, and then there are cartons. And there are chickens, and there are farms.
Sometimes the cartons are cardboard, sometimes they're styrofoam.
Sometimes it's true. There's so much versatility that you really can't try to determine the involvement in a group that somebody has. Okay, I'm gonna go because this is ridiculous, and we will include Joey's makeup when it's done.
Yes.
That'll be like the closure. Oh, you have this cool thing behind your head that matches you right now. It's like a purple Ferris wheel with some blue in it.
I too am a purple Ferris wheel with some blue in it.
Now you're really white.
Yeah, make me more white than I already am.
I think you're whiter than I am. Really?
I think I'm usually more translucent than you are.
Oh wait, we have to say who you are. Joey is sporting some blue tones in the makeup.
I have been drowned.
I like that. And then you're wearing your scarf that's very net-like.
Yep, this is what drowned me. I guess I'm just a witch who was drowned one day, just for and grins.
Oh yes. Wah wah. I do really like the lips and the blue. I'm zooming in. I feel like I'm creeping on you right now.
I can't tell, so.
Oh, so it's okay because you can't tell that you're being creeped on. That's a terrible thing to say.
That's not what I meant, but okay, I guess.
Okay.
Oh!
I love how expressive this makeup is, but maybe just because you're an unexpressive person.
That's also true.
Oh, hey, now you can see yourself.
Hey, it's me. Hello, me. Too bad I'm not wearing nail polish.
I know. I know. I thought about that too, but I keep chewing my nails, so whatever.
Well, I just didn't think of it.
Oh, we have plenty. We can if we want. Aw, you were all like tucked into your scarf there.
I'm a little gablin.
Gablin.
I'm a little gablin.
Gablin. I'm really hungry.
Me too.
Oh, that reminds me. I have something to talk to you about. About Perkins. A conversation to have. About Perkins, but we should take pictures. This eyebrow is just driving me insane. It's like not good enough.
Oh.
Did you eat my hair?
No, I just hit my teeth together really hard. I clacked.
I'm losing my mind.
I forgot to clarify. I am a drowned horse witch. I am part horse, part witch. Maybe some other stuff in there too, but mostly horse and witch, I think.
Can you do it again?
Do what again? Oh.
I'm so envious. I can't do that.
Make a clapping noise.
Did it work? Did it work?
I think so, yeah.
I tried to get in on that. Well, we're gonna go and have a jolly old time now.
Don't drown.
It's been a long time since we dazzled ourselves up like this, so I'm kind of excited to just exist in this form.
Me too.
Okay.
We can go out in public like this if you want to.
Tempting. We'll see. Okay. Well, anyway, enjoy the video, I hope, and if you have any, I don't know, whatever you want to say, opinions or weird jokes about how bad we were at our makeup, please.
Joke about how much of a mess we are, etc.
Yes, or how relatable, because I'm sure not everybody knows how to be a perfect makeup artist like there are on YouTube. So
Indeed.
we are going to go with that in mind, and we're all people, and we all exist, and none of us are perfect, and we're going to go now. Bye.
Bye.